Did you know that within the first 90 seconds of the interview, 33% of the interviewers decide whether the candidate is fit for the position or not? So you need to make sure that you bring your A game in the first 90 seconds and continue the momentum throughout the interview. In today's video, I will share with you 5 most asked interview questions and their answers. With this information, you'll be ready to start answering interview questions like a pro and land more job offers. Let's dive right in. The first question that most interviewers will invariably ask you is, tell me about yourself, or let's start with introductions. In my 20 years of hiring manager experience, I have seen very few candidates truly prepared for this question. This question does not mean that it's time to tell your whole life story. Rather, this question is to provide a preview of why you are the right fit for this role. Please do not start with where you were born. Don't worry about sharing your educational details or even your entire career history unless it's part of your elevator pitch. To answer this question, clearly articulate these 3 things: your professional experience, results you drove, and your values and your leadership style. Here's a good example. I'm a marketing leader with 20 plus years of experience leading digital marketing initiatives. And through this, I have driven double-digit growth and a 10% increase in customer lifetime value year over year. I truly believe in the value of diversity of thought and encourage my team to bring their authentic self to work. And then pause. Give the interviewer an opportunity to ask you more questions if they're curious about your values or the impact that you drove. But that's it in terms of answering this question. The second question that will invariably come up in the conversation is, why are you looking for a change, or why did you leave your last job? Now, as tempting as it might sound, you do not want to use this as a venting session. Instead, try saying something like this: I've had amazing highlights from my previous role that allowed me to develop significant expertise in my functional area and has contributed significantly to my skill set. I was able to drive significant impact in my previous role. Over years, the company strategy has changed and it no longer aligns with my personal values or goals. That said, I'm really grateful for having this opportunity because it has given me time to think a lot more clearly about what I want in my next role. And that's why I'm really excited to be here today and speaking with you. See how easily you were able to navigate this question with the answer without going into the detail of the toxic environment that you had in your previous role, or how you were not satisfied in your previous role. If there is a gap in your resume, be prepared for a question around it. The key is being very intentional so that you can control the narrative. Do not try to push it under the rug. If you were laid off, it's perfectly okay to say that your position was eliminated as a result of the reorganization. You don't need to go into the details. Instead, focus on how you have been upskilling yourself, honing your skills, and building your network. If you took a break to focus on your personal priorities, mention that. Again, focus on the skills that you have built during the break. End the response by telling the interviewer that you're really excited about the opportunity because it aligns with your career goals and the new skills that you have gained during this gap period. Now, the fourth question that you might be asked is situational questions or behavioral questions. These questions typically start with, tell me a time when, or tell me about a time when. Pro tip is, don't go off tangent in these kind of questions. These are open-ended questions, so you need to use the STAR methodology to respond to these questions. STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. Let's break it down. First, describe the situation or the problem statement in 1 or 2 sentences. Then talk about the task at hand, again in 1 or 2 sentences. Next is action. This is where you spend most of your time while answering this question. 4 or 5 sentences where you tell the interviewer how you used your functional and power skills to address the situation. and then wrap up the response with the result. 1 or 2 sentences describing your success and learning. This entire response should be about 10 sentences. I advise my clients to write down 4 or 5 scenarios based on their work experiences. And then, based on the question that has been asked, you can use these scenarios as needed to respond to the behavioral questions. So, those 4 or 5 examples are more than enough to cater to any behavioral question that you have been asked. The key is to understand the task and the action and the impact and have it in a data driven format. Most interviewers end the interview with, "What questions do you have for me?" This is your opportunity to understand the role and the company better. Use this time to evaluate whether the company, team, and the role is a good fit for you or not. Here are some example questions that you can ask. What excites you about working for this company? How would you measure success in this position? What do you think would be the biggest challenge for the person in this role? These questions give you an insight into the thought process of the interviewer and also provides you an insight about the company culture, how the stakeholders interact with each other, and how the stakeholders perceive this role to be. That would be critical for you when you're making a decision whether you want to join the company or not. I hope these tips help you shine in your next interview. Let me know in the comments which other topics you would want me to cover in my next videos. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you already haven't done so and hit on the notification bell icon so that you can be reminded every time I release a new video. I'll see you in my next video. Have a successful week. Bye-bye.